Hi guys, I'm here today to do a book haul. So in the last few weeks I've acquired quite a few new books because it was my birthday, so I was gifted a few books, and then I bought myself a few books for my birthday, and then I also got sent a few books from publishers. So I used to do ridiculous like birthday, Christmas book hauls where there was like 4 or 5 parts, and I'm not saying that will never happen again because I'm sure it will. I have no control, but for now I'm very happy with that not happening because I'm trying to sort of focus in on the books I have or have had for a really long time and I'm still excited about, and you know, to try and get that to be a lower figure so that I just get through books quicker and don't own books for 3 or 4 years before I read them. So I still have some books to show you, but just, you know, this is a 1-part video. So firstly, Johnny kindly bought me 3 graphic novels for my birthday. I used to read loads of graphic novels and love them, and then for whatever reason over the last few years I've just not found as many I'm interested in and just fallen out of the habit, and I guess fallen out of the habit of being willing to spend that much money on books because they can be more expensive, but Johnny was buying them, so I didn't have to worry about that. So firstly, I'm very excited for this one. I'm very excited for all of them actually, but this is by an author I love. So I have read and adored This One Summer and Skim by Gillian and Mariko Tamaki, who are cousins, but this one is just by Mariko Tamaki and then Rosemary Valero-O'Connell. I may have said that wrong. And this is called Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. I absolutely love this cover. To be honest, I have no idea what this is about. I just saw that it was by one of the Tamakis and I saw the beautiful cover and I thought, yeah, I love everything they do. I'm going to pick it up. So, I mean, we can find out together if you want. It says, all Freddie Riley wants is for Laura Dean to stop breaking up with her. The day they got together was the best one of Freddie's life, but nothing's made sense since. And I think this is about like one of them being popular and one of them not, and then stuff happens. So yeah, as I said, I trust either of the Tamakis and this looks beautiful, and I'm always up for reading sort of female romances. So yeah, there's that one. Love it. This one I've wanted since it came out and it's very expensive, but it's massive and it's beautiful, so I really hope I love it. So, and it's very heavy. This is On a Sunbeam by Tillie Walden. So I've wanted to read Tillie Walden's books for quite a while now, and then I heard this one was coming out and I was just over the moon excited, and as I said, very pricey. But Johnny really liked the look of it, and when it arrived he was super excited because he thought it looked beautiful. So yeah, I'm very happy that he picked it for me from my list. So if I remember correctly, I think this is a gay romance as well, I think, and I believe this is a bit sci-fi. Oddly, I can't find any description of what it's about, so super helpful. So what it does say on the back, and this is Brian K. Vaughan who wrote Saga, Tillie Walden is the future of comics and On a Sunbeam is her best work yet. It's a space story unlike any you've ever read, with a rich lived-in universe of complex characters. And the art you see on the front is exactly like the art on the inside. It's really tonal. I am a massive lover of comic book illustrators or graphic novel illustrators who really focus on tones. So like on one page it's got a really like pink orangey wash, and then on another page we have like a bluey purple wash. I love that. I'm always down for that. And this, she does this throughout, so if you flick through it's almost like a rainbow because there'll be pages all in one hue, which is something I love. So there's that one. And then this last one I've heard loads of people rave about. This is a graphic memoir, I believe, and this is called The Best We Could Do by, I think, I should have double checked this. Is it Thi Bui? Thi Bui? I definitely should have double checked that, so my apologies. So this, as it says, is an illustrated memoir, and this is about the family leaving Vietnam to move to America, and it says it explores the anguish of immigration and the lasting effects the displacement has on a child and her family. And yeah, as I said, I've just heard amazing things, and this is also quite tonal, but it's sort of the same tone throughout, so it's all in this wonderful sort of orangey hue. And most of my favourite graphic novels are graphic memoirs, and I haven't heard anyone say anything negative about this one, so I have high hopes. So there are those. And then I have a few books, one that I was sent for review, and that is Queer Intentions, A Personal Journey Through LGBTQ+ Culture by Amelia Abraham. I think you can pretty much tell from the title what this is. So it says Today, the options and freedoms on offer to LGBTQ plus people living in the West are greater than ever before, but a same-sex marriage, improved media visibility and corporate endorsement all they're cracked up to be. At what cost does this acceptance come, and who is getting left behind, particularly in parts of the world where LGBTQ plus rights aren't so advanced? And it says she combines journalism with her own personal experience. I always like reading books that are written in that way because you learn loads, but at the same time you feel this connection, and I feel that you can relate more when the person who's telling the story is personally connected. And also I just feel safer in the hands of someone who has lived that life. You know, I'd much rather read this sort of book from someone who it affects. So yeah, I'm you know, very interested in reading this one. And then the lovely Jen got me 2 books for my birthday, and I was so excited about both these. They were just great choices. So this one is The Stopping Places, A Journey Through Gypsy Britain by Damian, and I'm so excited about this one. I saw a couple of people mention it and just thought it sounded really interesting, and sort of put it on my list in my head as one of those books I needed to pick up. And then I didn't need to because Jen got it and she's read it and really enjoyed it. And also it has this brilliant author photo on the back. I think that's a wonderful photo. Well done him and whoever chose it. And yeah, so this is basically about, as it said, a journey through Gypsy Britain. The author himself has, I believe, traveller heritage, so he sort of interweaves his own personal experience with looking into the history of gypsies. So yeah, I'm very intrigued by this one. I know next to nothing about travellers. I haven't watched any of these programmes. I think there was a documentary series that followed a travelling family on Channel 4 years ago, and I've never seen it, so I have no knowledge, and I'm very willing to be educated. There's that one. And then this one is Witch by Rebecca Tamas, and it says, witch is sexy, frightening and cerebral. What Tamas does with language and with the legacy of the witch is thrillingly strange. This is poetry, so I don't usually read poetry, but I recently mentioned that I want to try and read more books about witches, be they fiction, non-fiction, and Jen heard me say that and thought this sounded perfect, and it really does. It says she reckons with blood and earth, mysticism and the devil, witch trials and the suffragettes, gender and sexuality. That sounds phenomenal, and I'm so excited to get to this one. I'm sure I won't understand everything. What I think I might do is I have a non-fiction book about witches. I think I might read that, because then if there's any references to actual trials or people who are important in the history of witch trials, then I'll have more context to understand those poems. So that is my plan. And then lastly, I was very kindly sent this poetry book from Jen's publisher. This is Blood Axe Books for this one, and this is The Girl Aquarium, of course, by Jen. So I've read Jen's poetry pamphlet and really enjoyed it. And yeah, like I said, I don't read poetry, but I love Jen's poetry because I know Jen enough that I understand her poetry, and also I just really enjoy her writing style, the sort of themes she focuses on. I love how she interweaves the coast and fairy tales and mermaids and all those sorts of things, and so I'm very excited to get to this one, and yeah, I'm just sure that I will love it. So there's that. And then I have a couple more I have been very kindly sent from the publishers. The first one was on my pre-order list, so I won't talk about it too much, and that is The Choke by Sofie Laguna. So I was kindly contacted by Gaelic Books about this one, and they sent me this beautiful copy, and actually it's even more beautiful in real life, because you probably can't tell now because I haven't got another book in comparison, but it is shorter than a usual hardback, and I love dinky hardbacks. I just think they're so freaking cute, so love it. So this is a coming of age story set in, I believe, Australia, yes, and it follows a 10-year-old girl who's raised by her grandfather. It follows her through years of poverty and neglect, and then I believe she makes a friend, and then something happens to this friend, and it's about how she sort of survives this childhood. You guys know I love coming of age stories focused on young girls, and I don't think I've read any that are set in Australia, and just all the descriptions about this sound like the sort of thing I would adore. So very intrigued by this one. And this next one I was contacted by the publishers about, and I really liked the sound of it, so I said yes please, I would like to be sent a copy, and that is Animals Eat Each Other by Elle Nash. So this follows a young woman who gets involved in a three-way relationship with a man and another woman, and the man is a Satanist, and the relationship becomes quite controlling and I think violent, and it follows her through that relationship and sort of what becomes of it. So I think this could be a bit of a difficult read, but it sounds very different to anything else I've read, so I was interested to give it a go. This next one was also in my pre-order video, and that is Salt Slow by Julia Armfield. I was kindly sent this from Picador. This is a short story collection that is focused on women's bodies, fairy tales, the natural world, the coast, the sea, all those things, and I am sure I'm going to absolutely love it. So these last 3 books are YA, and the first 2 I bought myself for the Asian readathon because I realised I only had one YA book that sort of worked for the Asian readathon and I just wanted a couple more. So this first one I've actually read already, and that is Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. Gonna be honest, when I was looking at YA books, this caught my eye because I really love the cover and I'm shallow. And then I had a little look into it and I like the sound of it as well. But yeah, I'm massively drawn to certain YA books based on their cover design because I detest a lot of YA books cover design. I find them really cheesy, but I like the way this cover is done, so it pulled me in. So I won't tell you like what I thought of this because this isn't a wrap up or a review video, but just so you know what this is about. This follows a young woman who goes to university in Austin, Texas, and she isn't very good at socialising. She sort of keeps herself very cut off from people, and she meets a young man who's a few years older than her who works in a local coffee shop, and she sees him have a panic attack, and she sort of has a her roommate is sort of a relation of his, so she recognises him and goes to assist, and because of that she becomes his emergency contact. So they have this relationship via text message that is within the book. There's text messages in the book, and this whole relationship develops without them ever really meeting one another again, and you follow that. So yeah, that's that one. And then this next one I haven't read yet but hope to read very soon, and that is The Astonishing Colour of After by Emily X.R. Pan. I've heard so many people rave about this one. I'm pretty sure I heard Rincey over at Rincey Reads say how amazing it was. So this follows a young girl called Lee, and her mother dies by suicide, and Lee, I think there's some magical realism involved in this, I'm not entirely sure, but it says Lee travels back to Taiwan to meet her grandparents for the first time, and it says she retreats into art and memories where colours collide, the rules of reality are broken, and the ghost of the past refuse to rest. So I read the first few pages of this and really like the writing style, so I think this is going to be one I'll just speed through. And as I said, I've heard amazing things, and I've heard people say that in particular it deals with grief really well. So there's that one. And then this last one is a proof copy that is incredibly heavy. This is The Missing of Clairedelune by Christelle Thi Bui, and this is volume 2 of the Mirror Visitor Quartet. So lots of you may have seen volume 1, which was translated from the French and published last year, and lots of people were raving about it, called A Winter's Promise, which I've read, didn't absolutely love, but was hooked on certain elements of the story so that I wanted to carry on and read the next book. So I've very kindly been sent it. It's pretty chunky, it's about 500 pages, but the font is quite large. So this is like a fantasy series which they sort of compared to like His Dark Materials. I'd say there's some comparisons but not quite. So you follow this young woman who is sent to marry a man she's never met, and it's in this fantasy world where people live on these sort of almost like floating islands that were once one big planet that's separated, and on each planet they have this sort of like king, queen slash like godlike person, and on each planet they also have like different abilities, and our character has a couple of magical abilities that put her in like a quite unique situation, and there's like mysteries involved. So yeah, I'm, like I said, intrigued to see what happens in the next volume. So those are all the books I bought or was gifted or sent from publishers recently. I'm trying to stop myself from buying quite a few new books. I saw a few people review books recently that I just really wanted, and there's a few books I wanted to pre-order, so I'm going to try and get through some of these, and then I probably will make another order quite soon, so we shall see. So let me know if you read any of these, let me know your thoughts on them. I'd love to know more recommendations based on these ones that I've shown you, and also feel free to let me know what books you've recently acquired that you're excited to read. Thanks for watching, bye!